There we go. All right, so this is science and we're in mod 10 and we're to lesson 1002, components that determine weather. We did 1001 yesterday. So here we go. Yesterday we were talking about different things, different vocabulary terms, the 6 things that have to do with weather: air pressure, temperature, etc. Air pressure in your bicycle tires determines how firm or flat your tires are. Air pressure in the atmosphere acts the same way. High pressure means the air around you is densely packed, like a firm bike tire. Areas that have high pressure usually have fewer rain clouds because it's harder for evaporation to occur through dense air. So this is kind of like a picture of water molecules in the air. These are the types of clues that meteorologists use to predict what the weather will be. The image with more dots closely together, that shows the densely packed air without room for water droplets. The image with a few dots shows a low pressure system where it's not densely packed. This means that a meteorologist would predict rain clouds to form in the not densely packed air. So low pressure leaves room for water and weather. High pressure is so tight that it can't fit. That's an interesting way of looking at it. So we're going to talk today about how air temperature, air pressure, humidity, and wind speed and direction all determine the weather at a particular place and time. Again, we're in lesson 10.02, components that determine the weather. The 6 components we talked about yesterday. I don't know what this is doing. Research each component and drag it into the thing. We already talked about it yesterday, so I don't think I'm going to do that one. Let's move on. Hearing a low pressure system is coming our way, or wind speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, might make a little more sense now that you know about the different components of weather. Watch this weather report below and find out exactly what's causing the storm that's heading our way. So if you see weather like this rain, do you think that's a low pressure system or a high pressure system? Low. I see thumbs down. Let's see.
Now let's turn it over for the weather report.
Thanks, Miguel. Well, folks, it looks like there's a big storm heading our way. Let's take a look at the factors that are causing this weather. First, there's air pressure. This red line represents a low pressure system heading our way. A low pressure system has warm, wet air that rises up and then cools down. When it does that, it forms clouds. Then there's air temperature. Right now, it's 11 degrees Celsius or 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Because this is above freezing, any precipitation that forms will most likely be rain. Speaking of rain, these dark clouds mean there is a chance of precipitation. According to our map, it's already raining in some of the surrounding areas. And let's not forget the wind. Whew. The movement of air creates wind. Right now, the wind speed is around 28 miles per hour. The high pressure air is cooler and drier than the surrounding air. And when it meets the low pressure system, we can get some stormy weather. Last, there's humidity. Whew. Today, we're experiencing 85% humidity in the air. When there's lots of humidity, it means there's a lot of moisture in the air. It also means there's a good chance of rain today. That's it for my weather report. Before you head outside today, be sure to grab your rain gear.
Corny. Tell a family or a friend or a family member about how the components of weather determine the weather in your area. Maybe tonight, watch the weather report and see if you can understand what they're talking about. Sometimes called a weather person, a meteorologist is someone who studies the weather. Does anybody want to be a meteorologist when you grow up? Be the weather person on TV? I don't see any hands raised. Nope, not going to do it. They use instruments and technology to detect weather patterns and predict the weather before it happens. The work they do helps people prepare their homes when a storm is coming, or cancel picnic plans when it looks like rain. What did I learn in this lesson? And that's all there is to this lesson. When you know how weather works, you're better able to know when the weather's about to change. Sudden wind means air pressure is changing, which means a change in temperature and perhaps even some precipitation. If you've ever gone up in an airplane, one really interesting thing you'll notice is the clouds are almost like flat on the top. And that's because of air pressure. The air pressure flattens the top of the clouds out. It's pretty interesting. Now I can recognize how air temperature, air pressure, humidity, and wind speed affect weather. It says it's time for you to put on your meteorologist shoes and give your own weather report. Use the weather map to predict what the weather will be like. I think it's the same map we had yesterday where we were looking at all the components. So this tells you what they are if you were talking about them. And on page 5, they have a quiz. You can do it if you like. Some people have been doing the quizzes just for fun and scoring really good scores, but you don't have to do it for today. That's all we have. Instead, I'll tell you what I'm going to do.